Have you ever been to one of those buildings that have the ledges with those little wire things so the birds can't sit on it and poop on people? That's what this reminds me of. If you've ever been to New York City, some of the back of the benches have them. Every time I get to this point on the board, that's what it reminds me of. Don't sit here, little bird. I don't know why, but that's what it does. All right, so I got a lot of messages about what to do with leftover ribbon and how can you utilize leftover ribbon. And one way to do that is with the Unique in the Creek small flower board if you make a ribbon flower. So you could use 2 different combinations if you wanted to, whatever you needed. So if you know you only have 20 feet of one ribbon, then make sure you calculate you only need half of the roll. In this case, I want something candy corn because candy corn's been a big seller. So I'm going with this candy corn that was left over from the, does anyone know what month that was? Whatever subscription box that was in. And then I paired it with this one as a little accent. All right, so we're gonna need, how many of these are we gonna need? So on the outside we have 16. On the next row we have 8. Next row we have 8. Then we have 8 more. So we're gonna need 40. So I'm gonna need 40 pieces of, for me, my 2.5 inch at about 5.5 inches. Y'all, I went with 5.5 inches because it happens to be the width of the board this way. And if I can, you know, speed up my ribbon cutting process, I want to. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna do them in sets of 10, mainly because if I did 40, the outside ribbon would be a lot longer than the inside ribbon. All right, there's some. The crabs were good, Michelle. Y'all, I was about to mess up. Y'all saw that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I only have the zip ties prepared because I've been standing here for a couple of minutes waiting for this 18-wheeler to get out of our driveway. It was super loud. You can get the board at Deco Exchange. This board. If you mean this board, you get it from Hot Mesh Mom. Y'all, is that 3 sets? I don't even know. Yeah. Two. 7, 8, 9, So Michelle, one of the girls that work for us, her dad owns a company that owns like the distribution center, I'm gonna call it. I don't know what it's really called. But basically all the crabbers go out, bring the crabs back to them, and then they ship the crabs out all over the world. So we have a little inside connection there. All right. Now on this one, I'm gonna go with 10 inches. But this one, yeah, I'm only gonna need 40 of these as well. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's up, y'all? Tina's in Denver. You can barely hear us? Let's see. Looks like it should be fine. Do we sell the wreath forms? We do. Who owns it, Doc? Jessica, Dina's parents. That's why we always get crabs from them. Seven, 8, 9, 10. If you wouldn't have been partying on the beach, you could have, you know, come made bowl of crabs with us. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We gave away like 20 big old full crabs to the neighbor. All right, we're done with ribbon. All right, so, oh, you meant he owns his own dock, yeah. So let's see, on this one, y'all, we would have used about 40 inches of ribbon. And this one would have been about a little over 20 inches. I just lied to y'all. 40 times 5.5 is 220. And 400. All right. On the short ones, we're gonna dovetail one side. I was doing some Megan math there for a second. Alright, so on these little ones, I'm not going to cut a whole bundle at one time. Because whenever you cut a whole bunch at once, and you're doing that little saw technique, your ribbon may jiggle a little bit. And on the ribbon board, it's going to be real obvious if your ribbons are janky. On the regular wreath, where you have a whole lot of other stuff happening, it's not quite as noticeable. Yeah, we don't want to do no Megan math. We can't do that. All right. On the longer one, we're gonna dovetail both ends. You love the tumbler? Thank you. A local friend made it. Yeah, jiggling and janky is no good. Megan did math earlier and she nailed it. Sometimes her Asian shines through. Y'all, one day we were with Megan at a local restaurant. And the lady, okay, so we're from Louisiana, right? Everyone eats seafood. So we're at the restaurant. The lady's taking her order, and we're at a seafood restaurant. And Megan goes, "What do you have that's not seafood? I'm allergic to seafood." And the little lady at the register just kind of looked at her, and she goes, "I know, I'm a bad Asian." And the poor little cashier didn't know if she could laugh or if she was going to get sued. It was so funny. The short ribbons are 5.5. The long ribbons are about 10. The good news is after this part, it's just all about assembly. All right. So y'all, we're going to take our longer ribbon, fold it in half. Give it a good pinch, just like we do any other. And then just add your shorter ribbon right on top of it. Get it nice and tight. You're basically just putting a little ribbon tail like we do on our wreath right in. Y'all, we need to close some of these though, because that process is going to be too long. How many of each? It all depends on what size board you use and all the other things if you're using more than 2. So I would just count how many holes you have and go from there. All right, so I'm gonna pre-close some of these because I don't like to fight with them. It's either gonna look like a race car that went to a Halloween party, or it's gonna look okay. We'll have to find out. But I went with 2 rolls of ribbon that I just already had available, so I didn't have to open a new roll. Alright, so fold it in half. Give it a pinch. Then I like to make my little V. Take our other one, put it right down the middle. You like the black and yellow? Look, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. Now, I will tell you, this process takes a little bit longer than I enjoy. But there's probably a much faster way to do this, and I just don't know what it is. I've only done about 4 of these, maybe. How else would you do it? I don't know. Lori, I did 2 horses. They should be in the creative membership portal. Nancy, the crabs were good. All right, little things, since I didn't, I had this done before we went live. One thing that I personally do is load my board backwards. So all of the information about the company that makes the boards is on the inside, and that's all going to be covered by our ribbon. That's nothing against the company, but that company also sells products, right? So that would be like y'all buying Wreath supplies from me and then leaving the Deco Exchange paperwork whenever you shipped your wreath to your customer. Like, you don't want your customer to come back to Deco Exchange. You want your customer to go back to you. Crabs coming to Maryland. Mary, you want to know a funny story? We ship the blue crabs to Maryland. The crabs that you're eating from Maryland are probably from Louisiana. %99 of all the crabs that we catch here go to you. I know, disappointing, right? We also don't use Old Bay. That's wrong. Y'all signed up for the Maker's Christmas Workshop. Awesome. gonna be fun. Yeah, we don't steam them either. We like our crabs to have flavor. Do y'all use Old Bay and Thibodeau? Teresa, the sale is still on. It should be good through midnight Central Standard Time. Vicky signed up for the workshop and business. Awesome. Jordan wants to do all pink. Well, I mean, if our friend would get all of her pink stuff in time for Christmas, I mean, in time for September 22nd. Y'all, I'm gonna go back and fluff the ribbons throughout. Shonda said no Old Bay in Baton Rouge. Yeah, we're not Old Bay people. You should be able to go to amakerschristmas.com to check out the next challenge. He said no pink. How much would I say I spent on materials? 2 rolls of ribbon and a board. I shopped today though, so 20% off. Evelyn, they are folded in half before I put the, look. Done. Susan, that's the name of it, the small board. See, folded in half. Then our tail right on top. Do you pay for all the courses individually? No, we have a monthly membership where you get certain things. And then we have classes outside of the monthly membership for people that don't want to join the monthly membership. Tammy got her orange 60919. Awesome. All right. Now, we want to make sure that our ribbon tails, you know, I'm probably going to do that at the end because I feel like I'm going to keep bumping them. But I'm going to go through there like this and get all those ribbon tails fluffed out nice and neat. Carly, if you log into the membership portal where the monthly stuff is, there's a post in the Facebook group. All right, let's get the show on the road. What's nice is the outside takes the longest. Once you get towards the inside, which I need to start closing these. So there's 16 around the inside, and then the next two whole rolls have 16. Together. So it goes a little bit faster once you get past that step. I would tell y'all that if I had planned this out longer than like 3 minutes before I went live, I do like to spray paint my boards. So in this case, I probably would have spray painted this board black, and then I would have let it sit for at least a day for it to completely cure. So if you go to makerschristmas.com, there's an option to sign up for the challenge and the membership at the same time. I would definitely check that out if you're thinking of doing both. It'll save you a little bit of money. Jane, if you're in the coaching group, then you need to log in to the membership portal and go that route. That's how you get your membership discount. Any shared holes? Not in the plans, but we'll see if there's any gaps. What's the business meeting going to be about? It's all listed on the page. What kind of paint? I use Rust-Oleum or Krylon. Thanks, Nancy Brown. You want to make sure whatever paint it is, it sticks to plastic. So if it has like outdoor furniture paint, something like that. Whenever you paint the board before you put on your mesh or your ribbon, if there's any like little gaps or holes, it's a little bit harder to see. Do I ever use black ties? I have some right here. They worked exactly the same way, they're just a different color. Hey, hey. How many cuts? Depends on the size board you use. This is a small board, so I put one of each ribbon in each tie. So I'm not gonna give you a number, because if you go and buy a knockoff board, or if you go and buy a large board instead of a small board, your number's gonna be different. So for the small Unique in the Creek board, you need one ribbon of each color. Is that rainbow mesh on your table? Not that I know of. You mean the cup? Y'all, and then I just do about my finger width between the end of the ribbon tail and the zip tie. Whenever I just use my finger, because my finger width is not gonna change throughout the project, right? So I know that every one will be about the same length if I use my finger every time. What length? The longer ones are 10, the shorter one is 5.5. So if you were gonna go shopping, you would need 2 rolls of ribbon, 1 Unique in the Creek board, and a bag of zip ties. You can get all of that at decoexchange.com. And then you'd have to figure out what you're gonna put in your center. You can put a small sign, you can put a flower center, you can put some little ruffles, whatever you want. Rue was cracking up in the grass the other day. He does that all the time. Today, he was so anxious to go outside. And then as soon as he got there, he just stood in the middle of the driveway. Didn't do anything. And then he was ready to go inside. Like, rude. I was in the middle of working. He was all antsy, which usually means he needs to go outside. Then nothing. All right. Y'all, we're moving to the next row. You just signed up for the class? Awesome. All right, let's go to our next row. Y'all, the problem is that you'll never see the gingerbread house, so I don't think I'm wasting my time. How do we get the discount code today? There's no discount code. You just shop at decoexchange.com or the Wreath sign outlet, and it was automatic. Y'all, it's still crazy for me to think that the reason that we have Root is because the adoption center said that he was too aggressive to be adopted out, and that he would most likely be put to sleep. Since we've had him, so we got him, we picked him up out of the road on the 26th, maybe, of December. We got him 6 or 7 days after that. And all that time, he's growled at one person, and that person, like, spooked him. Like, he wasn't paying attention, and he walked up and went to pet him, and it spooked him. And it wasn't even like an aggressive growl. It was more like a, I need to get out of here growl. Yeah, and Parker had COVID at that time. So he was locked away in his room. And I went home and I was like, well, you know how we said we weren't getting any more pets? I might have adopted a dog today. So, Chris, at home we have hurricane shutters. Do you guys know what hurricane shutters are? I don't know how popular they are outside of the South, but they're hurricane shutters. They're inside the house. They're like really thick mini blinds, but they're built like on the window. It's not like the plastic ones with the string that you pull up and down. Anyways, he knows how to stab them with his paw and open all the mini blinds, and then he sticks his head through there to look for geckos. So for, you know, a good 30-45 minutes to an hour every single night before he can go to bed, he has to check every window in our master closet and around our bedroom for geckos. And he just bounces around, hitting windows. Then he gets on his wheel, has to run for a minute because he's excited because he saw a gecko. This is what it would be like having a toddler. Does he sleep with us? I mean, he has the option. Sometimes he'll sleep on my side of the bed, like just barely under the covers. Rue is scared of Richard. We tried to let them be friends. It didn't work out. Because Rue just wanted to sleep, and Richard would like sneak up on him. Does he wake us up with the wheel? Not really. He mainly only uses it like right before bedtime. He does a pretty good job of sleeping through the night. All right, now in the center, I did add more ribbon. I did add the zip ties to connect all of the holes, not just the original 4. Where did we get the cat wheel? Do not get it off Amazon, because on Amazon it's like $500. Go to their website. It's One Fast Cat. You'd like to see Rue? Rue gets posted 3 or 4 times a day. He definitely likes some attention. All right. Y'all, we're almost done. Well, we have to go through and fluff it all out, but... Does Rue and Richard share a wheel? No. Rue is not coordinated enough to run on that wheel. Was it a turtle? No, that's a like a rat thing to make sure we don't get rats in the warehouse. How did you know he was in the shelter? We brought him there. We found him in the middle of the street. And they were gonna, well, initially they were gonna adopt him out or put him in a rescue, which was a good idea. And then they were like, oh, well, he's really aggressive. I'm like, the dog y'all just picked up is aggressive? Something is, I'm confused. And they really didn't want to adopt him out to us because they had already deemed him aggressive. They're like, a rescue is going to have to pull him. I was like, listen, y'all got about 2.5 minutes before I call all of our attorneys. And then I make life really hard around here. They're like, oh, well, you know, since you found him, if you want to pick him up, I guess we can let him go to you. It's like, that's probably a good idea. All right, now I'm gonna fill in the in-between holes. Well, Beth, initially I was told that it was a no-kill shelter, and then my understanding is that it's mostly a no-kill shelter. I would never want to be in their position. I'm sure they make terrible decisions every single day. Not like bad decisions, but the decisions they have to make every single day are terrible. You know, you can only put so many pets in the shelter before you have to make a decision on which ones are likely to be adopted and you could save and which ones you can't. Like, but when they told me no, that I couldn't have him back, we were going to have a situation. All right. Y'all, let's figure out. Hey, wait. Connie, are you still here? I know I saw you a while ago. When did Facebook start ads? 2 years ago? Did they ever do a follow-up call? Nope. Okay. Has anyone ever used this type of mesh to do the ruffles in the center? Y'all, I'm trying to determine if I want to use this and try to do little baby ruffles. Looks like a gap on that side. Yeah, sure, we didn't fluff out our ribbons, right? And then ruffle it down the middle. And then you can zip tie these into the center to make a little like a little baby ruffle. Or we could just take the orange flower center that's already made and I could just use it. You've used it but not that wide. This is a 4-inch. I figured anything smaller than that would make me not excited. Y'all want to try one? Worst case scenario, we just cut it out. So if you're gonna use 5.5 inch or 4 inch or something like that in the mesh, you're gonna need 4 pieces. If I had to guess, around 15 to 20 inches. Do the baby ruffle? Okay. But if it's ugly, it's gonna be your fault. I'm just kidding, Penny. Use an 8-inch sign. I don't like the signs in the middle. Just don't. All right. Now, y'all, right now you can see that ruffle down the middle. Make sure we get it nice and tight. Now, it doesn't look that impressive to start with, but as you start putting more in there, it's gonna push them together, and then they'll just be little filled in center. So I think I cut that first one 15 inches. Mel, I don't know why you have so much ribbon. I don't know why you are refusing to do the ribbon flower. You think it's gonna be cute? We'll find out. Mel, what are you gonna make for the workshop? All right, so as we start working in the other ones, we want to make sure that we're pulling our mesh out to the side so that when we put the other ones in there, it pushes those ruffles together. Power fly when Aaron's Alaska, it's on. Now. How long is he going to Alaska? Making a huge Christmas mailbox swag. And it's going to be completely different than how you taught them in the last challenge, right? So that way they learn a whole new method. Do we sell the boards? Everything that I'm using tonight came right off the shelves at decoexchange.com. Jane, all you have to do is apply to the Facebook group, answer the questions that you can, mainly your email address, and then they'll get you added. Y'all, no one's going to get added to that Facebook group for at least it doesn't start until the 22nd, so you might get added to the Facebook group by the 19th. We don't add people until much later. All right, we have one more to get in here. Well, the reason that I went with the black and white is because in the candy corn ribbon, the edges are black and white. Originally, I was gonna go with a orange one to kind of bring out the orange in the candy corn. But then I was like, you know what? Let's try to bring out that black and white. You were given rolls of this? Okay. I'll show you what, we have one more petal, then we gotta fluff some of our ribbons. And then if you don't use Deco mesh ribbon, you're missing out. It's kind of hard to get. Not everyone still has it. Most of our suppliers don't carry it anymore, but I might have a pallet or two of it in my personal stash. All right, then make sure you fluff that out so that the zip ties are hidden. And then we gotta go through here and start playing with our ribbon. Now I personally like to make the ribbon pop out away from the board and not look too flat. I know if you're going for super slim, you may want yours to be flatter. I think even if I wanted it to be flatter, I would still fluff them all up and then just go back and kind of pat them down. All right, now I personally do not use zip ties for the hanging piece. I like to use a pipe cleaner. How thick is it? Maybe 2 inches. 1.25 inches. So you'd be able to put this into a 18 by 18 by 2 box to ship it. So super cheap to ship. Looks like it's missing a ribbon in one spot. If it was missing a ribbon in one spot, it would have a zip tie poking out of it. So we definitely put ribbons everywhere. Now it may need to be fluffed out. I'm not gonna say I didn't not do that perfectly. All right, so on one spot, there's like a whole lot of holes. They're super friendly with each other right up here at the top. That's where your little tie needs to go. There you go. Super fun little candy corn wreath. And all it took was some of a 2.5 inch roll, some of a 1.5 inch roll, and a few pieces of 4-inch ribbon. So let's move this out of our way. All right, so listen, the secret with this mesh ribbon is to use it on the base of your bow. So it's not wired. So definitely use it towards the base. Oh, you guys can't even see it. I hung it up back there, then I moved it way out of the camera. All right. Then measure out about 6.5 to 7 inches. Now look, it's gonna fight you the whole time because it has its own little mind and what it wants to do, but that's okay. You can still be the boss of it. All right, so at the very bottom, would I recap ribbon lengths? So the 2.5 inch was 5.5 inches. If you have a ribbon tail board, it's this length this way. And then so it's only two ribbons, right? So you have one that's 10 inches. You have one that's 5.5. Fold it in half. Mel, it's like you weren't even paying attention. Jeez. Give it a good pinch like this. And then you lay your 5.5 inch ribbon right on top. Now I just like grab it in there like that and then ruffle it. And then zip tie that into the board. Y'all, if you have a 50-yard roll of 2.5 inch and it's plain, use the 2.5 inch in the back and then do 1.5 inch in the front. You can alternate colors, whatever you want. All right, so you've got your mesh ribbon. Now look, it is not friendly. This one wants to go this way, this one wants to go that way. It's fine. Just let it sit there. Push it down, get your next one. If you do a lot of tree toppers, this ribbon can really save you. If you do mailbox toppers, if you do anything that's like for outdoors, this is a really good base of the bow. I don't know why I just put that whole thing in there backwards, but it's fixed now. Sure, you'll work. Y'all, how many of y'all grabbed one of those boxes of bows that I sold? I was like, I really need to list all these for sale. I am never gonna sit here and list all these for sale. Let me just see if somebody wants them. And y'all snatched them so fast. Am I gonna make more Christmas wreaths that thickness? Maybe I'll make a Christmas flower. What would you like to see a Christmas flower in, Eugenia? Is that how you say your name? Tomorrow's the kids' first day of school. Ooh, you're about to have a rough morning. Y'all, even if the kids love school, Mel is definitely gonna cry till at least lunchtime. Y'all, I'm literally just grabbing ribbon on the table, so this bow may not be pretty colors together, but instead of that one, let's do this one. Connie, you cannot shorten your name because you definitely don't want to be Con. You don't want to be called a Peta. What are you going to be called, McCormick? Taco season? Girl, we just call you Taco Seasoning. She's like, hey, Taco. And be Connie. Give it a good pinch. Give it a good twist. All right, now look. That deco mesh on the back is gonna make all of your ribbons fluff out, which is perfect whenever you're doing Christmas tree topper or a lamp post, something like that. I like to put it on the back of my mail. If I just add a bow to my mailbox, am I still losing weight? Yep, about a pound every 3 days. So this right here, this part, helps all of your ribbons stick out. So let's grab our little baby tree. Look, so whenever you pull it in, that mesh ribbon kind of keeps your base nice and full. And I actually like the colors. Maybe you guys can see back there. If not, I'm not bringing that mailbox all the way up here. Hang on. Watch out, little snowman. So on the mailbox, the Deco mesh ribbon kind of keeps it sitting up. Mail. Challenge completed. You can rest. Mailbox is decorated. Let's see. Now Mel's gotta outdo me. Let me see if I can zoom in back there so you can see it. See how that mesh kind of holds the shape? And then your ribbons don't like sink in to the post. Boom, done. All right, y'all, that's it. I'm out. Tomorrow I do the creative coaching class, so potentially I won't see you live. I don't know what my schedule looks like tomorrow. Let me see. Ooh, 10:30 a.m. Mel's in the principal's office. Mel, is there any reason that we have 2 one-on-ones tomorrow? Are we gonna talk for 2 hours tomorrow? Y'all, Mel is on my calendar for a one-on-one from 10:30 to 11:30. And then again from 11:40 to 12:40. So that's a lot of Melissa time. Two calls back to back with Mel. That's interesting. She does have a lot of words, so I guess she can fill 2 hours. I bet it takes me 30 minutes. Knock it out. All right.